guys, this is a roll with two of our competitors. We have Alex, who's a purple belt, and Simon, who's a blue belt. I really wanted to make sure I got this one on film because they're both very good wrestlers and both pretty athletic. So I hope you guys like it. Subscribe and give it a like. All right, so here we have Alex on the left and Simon on the right. Again, both pretty good wrestlers. They're electing to start from stand-up here. Simon's starting to find his confidence. You'll see that a lot. I've noticed that a lot recently, is he's finding his confidence, and he's very fast. I've tried wrestling with him, too. It's a really tough call. Even right here, that's one of Alex's go-to takedowns, and Simon manipulates his hips and cuts the angle slightly. So Alex locks up the arm and goes for this kind of lateral drop, but Simon's able to post his head and get his arms out the way there. Because he's able to come up and get inside position with that right arm, he's able to get to top position. Here he had an opportunity at a right knee cut across the hip, but he's maintaining position here. Alex does the right thing and pummeling that hand inside and creates space. From here, he was looking for a sweep, but he got a little bit lazy with that top leg, and he starts to Granby through. Simon does a really good job hiding that right foot and staying tight on the hip. If he can keep his hands connected tight on the hip, it's going to allow him to get around the legs there. There's no volume for it, but Alex let out a fart, and that's why he stopped rolling. So we get back to the action here. Simon's still in top position. Alex has good inside position. That's how he's able to come up onto the knees. He's separating and starting to back up. A lot of people don't realize that, but in Turtle, you don't just have to stay there or go forward, but you can start going backwards. This is some good wrestling exchanges here. Got a little bit scrambly, but you can see throughout the entire roll, they're going to be kind of up and down off the mat here. So we have the tie-up. Alex has the underhook. Simon shoots in on the single. And there is our counter Haragoshi sitting low. That's a nice one because it can turn into a front headlock series if they base out, but he was able to turn out Simon to his back here. From here, he's trying to set up a Darce. Simon's doing a really good job keeping his elbow on the mat. As long as Simon keeps his left elbow on the mat here, Alex isn't going to be able to use his hips to drive it up over his head. Simon's got the right idea by taking that right hand. He started to do it to bring his hand in between the right side of Alex's neck and shoulder, but he kind of stopped. So he's kind of looking for places for that hand to go in there. It almost went in again. But if he could take that right hand inside, that would have been an opportune moment to create space. Again, we're kind of getting up to a high mount here. His elbows are flared, so it's a really opportune time to get this underhook. We just worked out of the class the day after, I think. So we'll kind of recap on this. Watch the left arm there, reaches up too high and gets caught. So again, here, the elbow's flared too high. He should have been using his legs and shoulder walking up to get his elbows back inside. Alex does a good job taking advantage of the inside position on that left underhook. The feet are connected now. Simon's trying to get the legs involved, but it was a little too late. I mean, he still needs to, but that's all right. So watch the left hand of Simon. His hand should be shooting across Alex's hips. It's counterintuitive because his right arm is getting attacked, so you want to reach to it. But because the hand was high, Alex was able to hold on to the wrist and go to the belly down armbar in that position. They like to start again from standing, kind of resetting over into the mat. This is a fun exchange here. They're both actually shooting for their wrestling, too. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys are waiting for wrestling to happen to them so they can look for submissions on the ground. These two are good wrestlers. Nice little ankle pick there. I think he should have kept a hold of the knee as he came up because that's how he kind of lost the leg. Shoot in on the single. Beautiful counter Uchimata to rebump him off that single leg, and we get right back up. Almost on our duck into the knee pick, but he was a little bit too wide, and Alex was able to spin around. And we call this position chicken on a grill, like a back mount, when you get somebody totally flattened out here, and he had the other hand trapped, so we had the single arm choke. He didn't realize that he tapped because he kind of he just tapped on the mat, so Alex didn't realize it, but that was, I believe I said something like, oh, that was a tap, because I realized he didn't realize it happened. So now we're electing to play guard. Alex is trying to start setting into some open guard concepts. This is something he's been working a lot on. And Simon does a really good job here and like getting in and out, in and out. And then he has an opportunity here. That right hand should have gone on the hip, but that was a nice little sweep from Alex. You can't really tell it, but the right hand was controlling his right leg, and he bumped him to the side to get that sweep. It looked like Simon just sat back, but it was actually some technique there. So he's looking for from top position. Alex is looking for that head and this cross-body position. He brought his right knee back, and that's how Simon was able to recompose guard here. Again, Simon needs to start using his legs to start breaking posture and stop being so arm focused. But again, they're both coming from a wrestling background, and wrestlers are kind of known for being very arm heavy on their grappling. So he had good inside position. He tried to get his knees to his elbows. It was a little bit too late there. Here, Alex is pinning down the hips. Excuse me. Again, if Simon's starting to look for creating space, his hands need to be on the other side of the body to create frames, and there's a nice half guard recovery there. Great timing to get his legs back in play. So now Alex is trying to get the hands up over the head. He doesn't really need, he needs to really put his head on the ground, and Simon needs to start, yes, pummeling the hands inside, that left hand in, and then the right hand inside as well, because you don't want him to start tripoding up and working back to this mount position. Because he already had the underhook on one side up into mount, now he can start walking up and high around the head. He should have cut around the head a little bit more there, and he would have had the nice tight S-mount. Simon, again, he's pushing up high when he should be pushing down low on the hips, and he gets stuck in the head and arm choke because of it. So kind of a same constant mistake was happening in the mount from Simon is reaching up too high. So this is another great look at the quick kind of passing here. It's like very outside position passing. There's a Barada Plata there. I don't know if we understand that one, but that was the finish of the roll. It was a great roll, fun to watch.